Coming up next on Adventurer, New York Rangers legend goalie Mike Richter. More when we return. Welcome to Adventurer, the show where people truly push their lives to the limits. No talking heads here, just the real deals. I'm your host, Jim Clash. Today's guest helped the New York Rangers win the Stanley Cup in 1994 and the U.S. Olympic hockey team win the silver medal in Salt Lake City in 2002. Rangers legend Mike Richter is here today to discuss his latest quest, the New York City Marathon. Mike, thanks a lot for coming in.
Thanks so much.
Real honor. You know, you won the 2002 silver medal for the United States in the Olympics,
Sure.
and then you won the 1994 Stanley Cup. Which of those two was a bigger deal for you?
It's a tough question because you're representing your country when you play on the Olympic teams. I played on 3 Olympic teams, and you lose the silver medal, you win the bronze and the gold.
Right.
So for us, we were in the gold medal game, lost to Canada, great team. They deserved to win that game, but it's difficult to swallow. So, especially on home soil in Salt Lake. So I have to say that representing New York City and winning what is the prize Stanley Cup probably ranked higher because we really fulfilled our destiny and won what we set out to do.
Now, you retired from hockey, and of course now you're taking on a new challenge. You're going to run in the ING Marathon,
Sure.
the ING Marathon.
Sure.
Why?
Well, it's a good question. As we spoke before, I spent my whole life doing short bursts of energy. All of my training was plyometrics, sprints, weights, and this is so different for me to get used to this long, slow distance. But I started taking 10-minute walks down the West River, and like anything else, you take one step at a time. ING came. They've been a sponsor for the marathon for 5 years. I said, here's a way to associate with a great charity event, and that is Run for Something Better, getting kids involved in fitness and getting myself back to life.
And boy, the kids are getting fat. I mean, we're all getting fat in America.
Yeah, it's not a small issue here.
No, it's not.
I have 2 sisters with diabetes. Childhood obesity is an absolute epidemic of proportions in this country in particular. And what's worrisome, too, is the whole world saying, if they're taking a cue from more fast food and everything else, and it's starting to show up in France and many of the other places that seem to be immune to it. And the idea is that kids just aren't participating much. And so running, these sports where you're actually participating against yourself, I think that's really what all sports and all kind of challenges are about. You're challenging yourself to be better. Anybody can do. You don't need equipment. Go out, get off the couch, and participate.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, when they go on diets, they think there's a miracle diet and you don't have to do exercise with it. But I know even for myself, when I try to do dieting and I don't do exercise regularly, it doesn't work.
It's like a bank account. If you're taking in more than you're putting out, you're going to have a surplus. And right now, America has a huge surplus in terms of their caloric intake. And there's no real secret to it, and there's no way to hide from it. You have to burn more than you're taking in, and that usually involves exercise.
Now, last year in the New York City Marathon, we had Ed Viesturs, who's one of the great mountain climbers, climbed all 8,000-meter peaks without oxygen, all 14 of them. Then we had Lance Armstrong, the great cyclist.
Sure.
Lance just broke 3 hours. Ed Viesturs broke 3 hours and 15 minutes. What do you want to do?
I'd love to break 4, and more than that, great. I mean, I've done half marathons when I was younger and did around an 8-minute mile.
Okay,
I don't know if I can do that. So,
Then
we'll see. We'll see. I would like to do 9s at least.
You might surprise yourself and run under 3:30.
Everybody says that at the beginning of the race. Ask me at mile 20 how I'm feeling.
Also, I think it's great that you hadn't finished your undergraduate school and now
Sure.
you're back.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in the Olympics or on sports teams forego it because you have this sort of little window of opportunity
Sure.
to do what you're going to do at a certain youthful age.
Sure.
You're back. You're at Yale now.
Yeah.
What's it like being a 41-year-old as an undergrad at Yale?
Well, I've been asked a few times in the beginning of the class year, sir, do you have a syllabus? And it dawns on me, they think I'm the professor. And it has nothing to do with the air of authority. I tell you, it's all hairline and dress code. But no, there's graduate students at Yale. There's some older folks.
Sure.
So I don't stand out too much in a crowd. They've had presidents, daughters, and everything else, more important people than myself there. So Yaleys have been great. They've been supportive, and they've, treated me as one of their own. And the bottom line is, it's fascinating. It's fascinating to go back to school at any age, but to go back, I started going back, I think, at 38. I'm 41 now. it's been an unbelievable thing.
When are you supposed to graduate?
In May, I'll graduate, and I'm also working a job, as we discussed before, so I'm doing a little bit of both, and I have 3 children, so there's a balancing act there.
There is a balancing act.
And like you said, you go back, and you can never really have that same experience of the 18-year-old going to college, but this is as close to as you can get. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, and you're working also as in a private equity firm, right? So this is big numbers, hardcore Forbes kind of business. Yeah. What's going on there?
Environmental Capital Partners are a $100 million company, private equity that invests solely in the environmental space, middle market, and I'm learning a ton. I just think environment's been a passion my whole life, as is health, and it's a way for me to learn a lot and feel like we'll move the society towards sustainability a little bit, but we think there's unbelievable growth opportunities there. And
boy, we're seeing with global warming, I mean, it's real.
And it's not just global warming. There's pollution issues, there's increased population, decrease in natural resources. This is the foundation of our economy, so I think we're on to something pretty good here.
Well, Mike, thanks a lot for coming in today. We're going to be cheering you on November 4th, isn't it?
It's November 4th. I encourage your listeners to go to WW Orange Laces. I got a little prop for you, Orange Laces. It'll explain this charity, but it's about getting kids involved. These are orange laces, and you can't miss them. Just like this beautiful orange shirt.
I like the orange, I have to tell you. It's a good splash of color.
That's why I'm here.
Thanks, Mike.
Take care, pal.
Okay. Again, New York Rangers legend number 35, Mike Richter. I'm Forbes adventurer Jim Clash. To read my column, pick up Forbes magazine or click on Forbes.com/adventurer. And thanks for watching the Forbes.com video network.